Hello. Hi, friends. Hello, hello. Guys, my stream might drop frames occasionally. I'm not sure. But if there are any issues with stream tonight, we could just blame DBD. Um, because their new update and stuff have been is well, I have some things to say about DBD, but Elixir, thank you for redeeming first, my Elixir. Thank you, bestie. I appreciate that. Also, thank you guys for redeeming your daily lattes and your daily LMU attendance. Thank you. What did you guys get? You have a vanilla bean latte elixir. Thank you so much. Um, and Lemur, you have your LMU attendance. You have claimed a sugar cookie latte. Okay. Congrats. Also, guys, um, today has been a very chill day. Um, today's been a very chill day. I was watching a couple of streams today, and not gonna lie, I don't like the UI. Like, for DBD, like the new UI and stuff, there are some things that like obviously like they did add and like did make changes for, which is good, but I don't know, like it's just I don't know, some of it is awful. But overall, I'm doing good, my elixir. How are you doing? Hi, Lemur. And for everyone who's tuning in, welcome in. We're gonna be playing some DBD tonight, and if DBD gives us some trouble, guys, because I know for some people, Dead by Daylight has been crashing on them, so um, if if it's gonna constantly happen to me, I might have to switch games, and we can play something else for the time being. Um, but yeah, also, guys, let's go over the new UI and stuff. Oh. Oh, never mind. Okay. I was about to say, I'm like, girl, you better pop up. But yeah, I like the new loading screen. Okay, A3. Okay, it's showing A3, Eddie, Aurora, and Megatha. No, that's not Meg, that's Sheva. All I just saw was the ponytail, and I thought it was Meg for a second in her, like, little tank top, but that's Sheva. That's Sheva from afar. Good, just chilling in the city of brotherly love. Ooh, I love that for you. Also, guys, okay, to all my killer mains out there, like, I've been seeing from a lot of people, and I'm gonna test this out in customs as well. I'm gonna test it out in customs.
Oh my. Is it
Um,
time for a game?
yes, it is time for a game, Naughty Berry. Yes. I'm gonna just test this in customs because I know for some people, they've been having problems with, like, I know some killer mains were complaining about, like, the slow swings and stuff, and so I kind of wanted to test that out for myself in a custom game. So, we're gonna test that out. Um, we're gonna test that out, actually, and then, let's see. Um... Okay, let's see. And I'm not even gonna, like, play, like, a full custom game. I just wanted to test this out just because, like, I just wasn't sure how it would be in a pub game. But, um... But yeah, Your girl... Let me tell you, your girl is kind of scared for playing killer right now. Okay. So, I don't like the new... So, okay, I'm looking at it now for myself again. Like, I kind of like the new button, but I also kind of don't. Okay, that's very loud. That was very loud in my ear, actually. Um, okay, so I don't like how they did that. I don't like how they did that, but also I don't okay, I'm liking that they don't have the estimated queue times anymore. Instead, they're just, like, showing a timer on how long it'll take, and I did play a match or 2, and I didn't really notice a difference, but maybe that's just the M1 killer main in me, but I
Going to die today.
okay, hold on. Okay, let me find these bots, actually. No, it's above. Oh, Michaela. I wasn't even in chase with you, Mama, but okay, well. Okay, but, like, also that just like, I don't like how they preemptively drop pallets. That okay, but, like, also okay, the guys, also don't mind me practicing against bots, but, like, I don't maybe this could just be a me thing, and, like, it also just, I guess, depends on the killer too. And since this is a custom game, like, I can just automatically DC, but, like, I don't and maybe it's just, like, for certain killers, probably. I'm gonna test it out on Doctor really quickly, but I don't I don't notice, like,
Shall we
a
play
difference.
today?
I don't know what notice a difference, but I know some creators were having issues earlier, like, I think Lilith Omen was, like, having a problem earlier with, um like, the flicks and stuff, because he said that it seems slower than normal, and, like, honestly, to me, like, I don't play Blight enough to just be like, "Oh, yeah," like, I don't notice a huge difference, but for someone who, like, mains Blight, like Lilith Omen, like, to him, he said that feels it just feels off and slow. Um, Wes, LV, if you guys are not familiar with Wes, Wes was also saying that Freddy feels slow, so, like, Um, like, he was just saying that how he feels slow, and I'm like, dang. Bot? Hello? Oh, I don't even know what. Oh, I didn't even know what build that I had. Like, okay, but I was hoping for my, like, gen regression build, but this is, like, my beginner build for Doc. I'm over here just like, okay, like, where's my. Oh, she scared me. Okay, now I'm kind of seeing, like, it being, like, a little off. And the ping... Okay, but the ping hit, though, I can see why people were complaining about that. I can see why people were complaining, just a little bit. Like, I can totally tell the difference. Yeah, I can notice a huge difference in that, actually. Yeah, I can tell, like, a big difference in this, and it's really awful for both sides, personally. Like, hits that shouldn't be hitting, you know, like what I did on the ash spot over there. Like, it shouldn't be hitting, personally. Where'd he go? But yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't know how I feel about this, personally. Yeah, I saw Ash over there. Hi. I'm my mixtape. I'm just practicing some killer and customs really quickly because I noticed a couple of killer mains earlier today were complaining, and I just wanted to test it out for myself. So that's why I'm, like, testing in customs really fast, but I'm gonna do, like, regular games soon. I don't know. It just seems a little off for me, but... Oh, I almost forgot she had dead heart. I'm like, girl, hello? Oh my god, girl. That dead heart scared me. I'm like, oh my god, did she have dead heart? But you know what? I forgot. I gave these bots perks. Oh, hey, Ash. Yeah, see, the running animation as well just also feels off. Like, hello? Like, Doctor feels a little slower than normal. Maybe that's just me. Also, why is the bot not wiggling? Hello? Why is Ashbot not wiggling? I don't understand. Like, why are you not wiggling, bestie? Yeah, I know you're a bot, but still, like, girl. Like, Oh, hello? Yeah, that just feels awful. That just feels really awful. Wait. Oh! Yeah, that right there it just feels awful. It feels very awful. I don't know. I'm also just practicing against bots anyway, but I don't know. Just things feel off for me. Things feel a little off.
Hello.
And also, okay, can we talk about the rendering though? Like, the rendering just feels like it could belong in a thumbnail. I'm just saying. And the names, like, who asked? Like, no one literally asked you guys to change like the names and stuff, like to make it bold. I'm like I had no issues like reading the names. Like, who asked you to make the characters' names big? The fuck? Like, they were fine just the way that they were. I'm so sorry, but I hate to be that person. And maybe other people had complaints, but I'm like, who complained? Like like I it just makes me feel like y'all are purposely doing that. But hey, it's whatever. But how are you doing, my mixtape? Mm-mm-mm. Do. I'm doing pretty good. I have just been like really bad with my sleep schedule. So it's been like kind of awful.
No. Higher power will save us.
Oh, it's a nuclear. Ooh. Oh, hey, hey. You and Tori are thinking the same thing? Hello? Did Tori take a hit? Thanks. Oh. Thank you, Tori. Started exercising to help my back and it made me feel tired and I've been sleeping way too much. Yeah, that's fair. I need to find a totem, actually. Oh, here you go. I need to get her out of exile. Come here, bestie.
If only we had biosalve.
Ah, as if.
Oh, as if. Thank you, besties. And my camel.
You are kind.
You got a sweet potato latte. Ooh, okay. Playing new Phas maps later? Yes, if you want to, my camel. Oh, come on, girl. Murderer. I love her voice lines. You will not escape. Ah, I love the voice lines. Oh my god. Me just casually sitting on the hook and eating. Hi, bestie. I also need to go to the bathroom. So I might go to the bathroom after this game. La da da. But also, are you excited that they added the restricted maps to Camel? Because, like, so what's the whole point of the restricted maps, Camel? Are they just to, like, add, like, make them a little smaller and less, like, painful? Oh, sorry. Or what? Like, how does that work? Like, because I've never, like, understood. Like, the point of the restricted maps. I need to find where this Feng Min is. Oh, well, she's down. Hi, Small. Oh, Bessie got exiled. Where's she sending it? Hi, Breezy. If they can pressure this gen with me, that would be amazing. Guys, I really have to go to the bathroom, but I also want to hold it in so I can get this adept. Okay, this Nia's juicing. Okay. How's the games? This is my first game on, actually, Small. And we got the new killer. Not a lot of people have been playing the new killer tonight. Surprisingly. So... I do want to get this adept. So I don't know if I should leave. I'm gonna try to get this gate opened. I feel like they should have just stayed here near the hook. Okay, Nia needs to come to the other door. Yeah, but also, like, I know, like, some PC players have been having trouble, too. Because, like, I know some people, like, who do play on PC, they'll, like, play killer on console as well. So the people who play PC sometimes, like I do, like, I'll play, GG's. Good luck next. We had Stabiffle, Brutal, Lay Waste, and Pop. Because I know some of my besties, like, they play, like, even though they play on PC, they'll play, like, Killer and Survivor on controller, so, like, I totally feel for them, but, also, I got a depth first try. Let's go. Well, guess who's gonna... Oh! Well, I believe you could do it. Adrenaline, bond, object, reassurance, niche build. How many more killers do you have to do for that challenge, Small? Because I know when you had faced me yesterday, you played as Nemi, right? No, you played as Bubba. You played as Bubba. Um, Not yet though. Yeah. How many more killers do you have to do? If you don't mind me asking. I'm on Freddy. Oh, so are you doing them all in order? Adren, Dead Hard. No. Breakdown. Oops. Breakdown. DS. Yeah. Oh. And what's the last part I use? Oh, Dead Hard. I'm like, what? I'm like, what is a... Oh, I did not mean to do that. Decisive. Or let me count. Okay. Let's see. Oh, let me also put blood points into her. But I also hope you're doing well, Small and Breezy. Also, okay. You've done 9 killers so far. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, you're on Freddy now. Okay, yeah, so you're about to be on 10. Have you lost with any of those killers? Or no? Having a rough one, but we move. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna send you all the hugs, Breezy. I'm sending you all the hugs. Also, why did that send twice? Hello? I don't know why that sent twice, but okay. But if you ever want to vent, I do have a venting channel in my Discord. I have 35 left to go. You got this. You got this. Of course, yeah. So, okay, my question is to you, okay, so if you lose on a killer, like, let's say, like, you lost on Huntress, right? Do you start over the challenge? Okay, so you just basically start over on that said killer until you get the 4K on them, and then you... Okay, so I see what you're trying to say. I see what you're saying. But also, I do need to go to the bathroom real quick, and I also need to go check on my, neighbor, because she's elderly, so I'll be a few minutes, guys, so I'll be back. I'll be back. I'm gonna use the bathroom. Also, I'm gonna get water, and then also check on my neighbor. So 3 things, and also, no, actually technically 4, because I also had to take my medicine because I've been having a lingering headache. So I will be back for a moment. Let's see. I guess I'll run ads now, so that way you guys don't have to deal with them in like 15 minutes. So I will be back. I'll run some ads, and then, I should be back within like 15 minutes or less. So give me a moment, guys. So sorry. Yes! Eat that dumper! Eat it! Eat it! Eat that shit! Eat it! Eat it! Okay, 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 okay. Shit! No! 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 Please! Please. Look, it's Jazz. What are you doing over here? Oh. Let's go! Avoid chicken. Voided chickens. Let's go. Let's go. That's crazy. Y'all didn't see that. Y'all didn't see that I was trapped between a zombie and them. Oh, not you vanishing. Not you vanishing, Daisy. Guys, I'm gonna flop. Yes, kill me. Fuck y'all for ruining my palettes. I know, I need to go over there, but like I'm kind of. You bitch! You son of a bitch! I hate it. Now, Cheryl, baby, you need to go. You need to go. Cheryl, he's not one I... Thank you. Thank you, Wesker. Thank you for hitting her out the door. I think she wanted the Mori, but I'm like... I don't know if that was... I'm so sorry, Cheryl. And I took her medkit. Bro, he just was like, yeah, I'm gonna just leave you be. We just looked at each other for 5 minutes. I don't think he's gonna break up with you. I think he's just trying to...
Oh, damn, he doesn't have a job?
Oh, so he's broke. Oh.
Oh, I didn't know. Hold on. Wait.
So he's broke.
I didn't know he was living with mom.
So he's broke.
Hold on. Oh.
但现在帮助我找回真相的，不也是你们这些敌人吗？
我受不了了！这家伙不就是个看上去跟敌人完全相同的陌生人吗？
Not her getting mad. Python, chill out, girl.
好奇怪啊，这种感觉。
小心。
What the fuck? You fucking bitch! No! No! Oh, I hate it here. My dear. Oh my god. Oh. I feel so... Oh my god! Okay, guys, I'm back. I'm so sorry. Hi, Q! Oh my gosh, I was just AFK for a moment. I'm so sorry. This scary game, this scary as fuck game, it's not that bad, Q. Also, for those who are wondering, I'm also live on TikTok. Um, I'm also live on TikTok. If you guys are watching on the Purple app, and wondering who I'm talking to, I'm talking to Q. But Q, I hope you're doing good. Q, once you start playing it, it's not scary. It's not as scary. But I hope you're doing good. I hope you're doing good, friend. And thank you for tuning in on the Purple app. I do appreciate that. Also, guys, I don't know why I'm going in the red. So I might have to end on TikTok, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Depending on how things go. Okay. Now I'm back in the green now, but I don't know. But if you guys are on TikTok, I am also live on the Purple app. And if you guys want to claim your drops and you guys own the game, you guys can earn drops on the Purple app. Also, okay. Let me I think I'm gonna go with Tori.
I'm not supposed to
Supposed to
be
be.
here.
I love her. La da da. Oh. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Ace has a red line of death, y'all. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Oh, I should have checked what build I had on her, but it's fine. Damn. Nice. Okay, no plaything. Why am I getting a lot of skill checks? Hello? Finally. She can blend in really well with this map, low-key. What? I hit B? What the fuck, bro? And of course you give me another head drop. Oh, this poor Ace went second. I was trying to get him off hook, but... Dang, bro. Oh, this poor Ace. She's trying to secure a kill, which makes sense, but... Damn. Well. I don't know why she couldn't just hook me. Like, girl. Oh my god. I did not. Okay. You scared the shit out of me. But it's okay. I'm done. So, I mean, I don't really care. It's okay. GG.
I have done differently.
Oh, wait, you know what? Okay, I think I'm gonna play as Aurora for a little bit. I'll bet he not go dodging.
As it was foretold.
No lethal. Oh, it's a springy top. It's like, who's the killer? But I figured it out. Where is he? I can't see him on the map. Okay, well, I'm gonna let him run over there. I kind of want to do my gems. It's the clown one! Oh my god! No one ever wears that cosmetic. My object's about to go off, but...
Quiet.
Oh. Not her telling him to be quiet, girl. Okay. Baddie. Okay, he's over there. He's on Ada, I think. Oh no. No, he's on Nia. That's Ada over there. Are we winning? Hi, wait. Rennie Bear? Hello, welcome in. Wait. Did you update your name? I know a Breezy Bear, but did you update your name? Oh, sorry. I kind of forgot she was here. Hi, Admiral. Guys, I'm a little sad. I didn't get I only got one judgment today. And that was like my first game. I have not ever... Well, you've never been like... Okay, this is your like... This clearly hasn't been your first chat. So... Hi. Ooh! That was hot! Oh! Never came back because sadly I have a life. Oh, it's okay. Do you remember which raid you came by with? Oh, he has that add-on that makes you undetectable, I feel. I don't know what it's called, but I had to like double check. But that's okay. Like, I totally understand that like people do have lives. Granny or Banny? I'll have to double check your chat logs. I can double check. Thank you, Ito. Okay, I'm liking the elusive a little bit. It's kind of like not that self-preservation perk, but... Well, I guess in a sense it is, but... I don't know why I'm cleansing a totem. I think... I need to double check my tome challenge, guys. I need to check my tome challenge. Because I keep forgetting what it is, and... I always think it's like a totem challenge or something else, but I'm like, I don't know. My DVD won't open. I'd say, like, try... What are you on? Like, what do you play on? Like, are you on Steam? Are you, like, playing on, Epic? Are you playing on console? Steam. Okay, so I'd say, I definitely would say, like, browse local files, and then, like, also, like, I think that's Pop. Oh, never mind. It started working. Oh, I guess he just had to complain a little bit and to get it to open.
What cruelty.
Okay, bestie. I need to heal you. You want me to heal you? Okay, then I won't heal you. No, no, Ed. Okay. You want me to heal you? Okay, well, I'm just gonna not heal you, I guess. Yes, there is a judgment skin. There's a new judgment skin that wasn't in the PTB. GG's. Open it. Oh, I don't know what Ada put, but okay, girl. You think it's cute? I know, I like it too. Wish I had the money. That's okay. Um, like me, I kind of wish I had money too. I did get the new chapter, but I kind of wish that I had more income. Mr. Lola Mr. Lola is like the breadwinner right now because like I got laid off like from my job a year ago, and so like right now like I'm kind of relying on Twitch, but um I'm grateful for like the I'm grateful for the for the amount of subs that I've gotten so far, but other than that, it's been fine. Also, okay, I did double check your last raid message. That was from like a couple of months ago. Like not even a couple months, a few months ago actually. That was from Grem's raid, Softest Gremlin. Yeah, I was an after school tutor and like they ended up hiring somebody else that was not fit to be around kids, and then they fired that person and they wanted me to come back, and I was like, well, y'all fired me, and they didn't necessarily fire me, but like they did lay me off, and I was like, y'all like laid me off, and I kind of don't want to come back, especially if you chose a new hire that wasn't fit for to be around kids. Like that's a red flag. And so I didn't really go back, and I ever since then like I've just been looking for jobs and stuff, and I'm just like I've been like relying on like my and I always end up feeling bad too. Like it's just really rough, and it's just I don't know. For me it's just like I personally feel like it's fine. Like let's see. Autodidact. I need Reglyph. solidarity. And then, what is the other perk that I always run? Hold on.
This is my moment to
To
shine.
to prove my worth. To prove my worth. Okay. Empathic. Let's see. Solidarity. And Weeglyph. See, I feel like every time I run Weeglyph, I don't really get much value. Like, I've only gotten value out of it, like, maybe, like, once in a blue moon. Yeah, I thought it was Grimmy. Yeah, I love Gremlin. I love her. La da 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 da. Another aurora. I kind of wish that I kind of wish that, like, I'm planning on also, guys, I'm planning on making, planning on coming out with a new video soon, for, not for DBD specific, but it's for, Phasmo, and, I can't wait. I can't wait to show y'all. I'm having Mr. Lola, edit it for me right now. And it might take a minute, but I'm excited, guys. I'm excited for the new video to come and everything, so I can't wait. I know, y'all. I'm poor. I'm poor. I'm poor in blood points. So I'm like, I need to just spend whatever I have on her. I should play some more some other survivors just to get
No higher power will save us.
okay. Well, my controller is gonna give me some fucking problems, so. We got the judgment again. How? I was near the pallet. Oh. Let me heal you! Stop! No! No. No. I'm healing you. I have solidarity. Stop!
On primitive healing.
Dang it! Can I get an exclamation point DC?
No to you.
Ma'am, listen, I'm very bad at mouse and keyboard, but... I will try my darndest to get the fuck away from you. How? Not the DS. Okay, bot. Oh my god. Let me just repent for my sins, lady. I should have dodged. I should have dodged. I was about to say, I'm about to die in here. No. No.
I've seen many wounded.
Okay, bot. If this bot goes down, then I can just abandon. Oh, well, never mind. I'm dead. I'm dead. settings. Also, disable. Please just. Oh, wait. Also, okay. Let's see. Also, y'all, I don't know what's up with my controller, but I had to play mouse and keyboard that game, so y'all got that shit for free. Oh my god. Hold on. Okay, there. Okay, I also need to fix something. Oh wait, I have to go into my settings. Twitch.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, Haku. Welcome in. Do-do-do.
A grand illusion.
I'm assuming you're my killer, but I don't know. Just had one of the funniest matches of your life? What happened? Okay, I'm assuming that this, Billy has lethal, by the way. So, lethal phantom, and I'm pretty sure he has barbecue. And maybe some gen regression perk, but I'm not 100% sure. Let me heal you! How did you know? Yes, Sloppy. How did you... Oh, she was already injured. I was like, how did he do that? Nurse is calling? I don't know. I don't know, like... He might have nurses calling, but I'm not sure. He might have a full aura build. So nurses calling might be right. But, oh, you know what? He might have... Does he have an add-on that, like, makes you, like, hemorrhage and mangled? I forget. I don't play Billy often, so, like, I don't remember. I don't remember if he does or not. This Billy's pretty good. Dwight, get away from here, bestie. Okay, never mind.
Goodness.
Okay. Gonna judge them now? I actually don't mind nurses calling.
We must rely on primitive healing.
Better murmur, maybe? Nah. Yeah, he might have... Oh, you know what? He could have Bitter Murmur, too, because the gen's completed. So, like, I don't know. He saw our aura. This is a really bad map for Billy, but this Billy's making it work. That's very rare to see in a Billy, actually, too.
What cruelty!
I got you. Okay, autodidact coming in clutch. Yeah, Billy's making this map work well in his favor, but I don't want to touch that that gen near the door just yet because I want to get the ones inside done. He constantly picks. Basement is rough. Oh, also, I've been meaning to do my tome, check my tome challenge, actually. I keep forgetting. Come on, B, let's not stay here, bestie. Come on. Okay, V should see where I am. V, bestie, if you see me, just please come to me, bestie, okay? I can give you some back rubs. Hey, bestie. Oh.
We must rely on primitive healing.
Oh, this poor Yui. He has brutal. Damn. Hi, Jimenez. He's pretty quick, so, like, he could have, like, Forever Entwined as well, or some sort of, like, fast perk. Agitation is a possibility. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know if he's got Brutal and Forever Entwine or Agitation, but it's pretty quick. So, I don't know. No tunneling, so that's good. Maybe the tunnels, yeah. Also, I don't know where the... Because sometimes he'll M1 and the other times he'll M2. So, I don't know. Hi, Raven. Raven, did you set up your PC? Be honest. Dwight's gonna have to go in for the save. I can't. I'm injured. Okay, we both kind of flopped there, but it's okay. Yeah, it's GG's. I don't even know if Dwight's gonna go get her, but it's whatever. Hi, Raven. Raven, did you set up your PC? Be honest. Be honest. Did you set up? Or no? If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me, okay? I want to know what their build was. Okay, he has Iron Will, Resi, Self-Care, Botany. Oh, she had Distortion, Wake Up, Shadow Step, and Lagoon Steadfast. Ooh, so happy for you! Also, I don't recommend downloading Chrome, Raven, because Chrome takes a lot of, Chrome takes up a lot of CPU, so I don't recommend Chrome. I do recommend an alternative called, what's this browser called? I do recommend Ecosia. EC, here, I'll, wish you were here. Here, I'll type it in chat for you. Yes, that. Yes, that's a safe alternative for Google Chrome. And it takes up less CPU, so download that instead of Google Chrome. I've been loving their variety, but I also do kind of wish that we got the Judgment a little bit more. Okay, Dwight gets out. Okay, I do want to know what the Billy's build was. There were P100 Billy. Okay, so I called it. It was Agi and Brutal. Agi Brutal. I thought he had GG's. I thought for some reason he had lethal, but he just had really good game sense. I didn't clock the enduring, but that was pretty solid. Phantom Fear is a great choice. Oh, V? No. Haku was the V, I'm assuming. Wait, it plants trees? Yeah, so every time someone downloads the web browser, they plant trees. And they raise money to plant trees and stuff, too. So yeah. It's definitely worth it.
You have been promoted.
You are now one of my elite employees. Ooh, a 25 stream streak, Jimenez. Oh my god. Okay. Look at you go. We love that for you. Thank you for the 25 stream streak, Jimenez. I appreciate that. Also, I will help you set up stuff, Raven. So after stream, I can help you set it up, okay? If you need my help. as far as like streaming stuff. Did you get your RAM stick too, Raven, or no? Did you get your RAM as well, or no? Because I don't remember if you got your RAM with it as well. Also, guys, tonight's probably gonna be a short stream tonight. By the way. GG's Dwight. Haku was in here earlier. Haku was in here earlier. And I thought they were gonna be the Billy, but I when he said Haku, I just took, because I have names off, so I just assumed that they were the V when you said that. So also, it's so tiny. No, I waited to see the brand. Oh, okay. What brand of RAM is it? Because what brand of RAM does it take, Raven? So that way I can look on Amazon. Yeah, they were the V in basement at the end. Yeah, I have names off, just because I don't want other, like, streamers to be perceived, per se. And also, like, I've had some experiences where, like, not myself, but, like, I've seen other streamers, like, get hate from other, like, streamers communities chats and stuff and whatever. And ever since then, I just turned names off. And also, there's days where, like, I just don't want to, the way that I don't know where to look for that. So you'd have to, like, so I'd say turn off your PC, Raven, and then, like, open it somehow, like, open up your, like, mini PC. And, because I'm pretty sure, because, like, if I look at it, hold on. Because I saw a video of it, and, I can double check for you. Hold on. I can double check to see the link. That I sent earlier. Because, like, I watched a video of it, and, like, I think I know what it does. Also, one second. You said open it. Yeah, like, open your PC. Like, not, well, okay, so if you go to your settings, actually, it should say what kind of RAM it has. No worries. I just have the anon mode plastered on either way. I had bad times and a lot of hate when I used to stream. Oh no, that's fair. The way I'm scared to do that. Okay, so you're on your PC right now, right, Raven? Sorry, I'm also trying to answer questions at the same time. Also, I don't think that you should be scared of, like, opening it. Like, I don't think you should be scared of opening your PC, Raven. Because one thing's for sure is that you're just opening it just to check to see what kind of RAM it is. Not for Twitch because of the browser, but yes, I'm actively on it. Hold on. What was the brand of PC that I told you to get? Hold on. Hold on, because I did send it to somebody else too. What if I break it? I just bought it. No, Raven. Why are you thinking these negative thoughts? Okay. 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 Andy. Then I'm off once again have the again. Oh, thank you so much, Wolven, and I do appreciate the follow. Thank you. I appreciate that. Hold on. I'm gonna just take a quick step away from Okay, I'm just trying to look up a video for you, Raven. Because like I won't know what kind of RAM it has until you open it. Like um can you send me a picture of it if possible?
Ah, as if.
As if. Hi, my Pluto. Don't mind me. I'm just trying to like figure out oh, okay, I'll do it tomorrow. Okay. Let's see. Cuz like the RAM that I have uh is G Slick, but for your specific one, I'm not sure. LME student check in for attendance. Oh yes. I'm going to get the brand. Can you at least send me a picture of like the RAM? Does it show like the kind of RAM it has? Cuz like I know there's like it's AMD. So take a picture of it for me, Raven, and I'll figure it out. Cuz I'm pretty sure it takes Intel probably. Okay. Raven recently bought a Kemrui E1 mini PC, and Raven is trying to figure out what RAM it takes before opening the PC. And all he said was that he sees symbols and nothing else. And I'm trying to figure that out. AMD. So AMD is okay. So it should like the mini PC, you probably got Intel. Intel for RAM. Hold on. AMD Intel RAM. Do you know what CPU you have? Like brand? It's the Kimrui. Oh, wait. Okay, Raven, listen closely, bestie. If you go to your settings, like, if you go to your, like, settings on your PC and you open your settings, you go to, um, wait. Okay, hold on. So, wait. So, okay, is the CP okay, Pluto, speak English for me, too. Is the CPU, is that the graphics card or is that GPU? I'm still learning PC stuff as well, so I just wanna make sure if that's the same thing. I just like, GPU and graphics card are the same thing. Okay, okay, okay. Um, the CPU is your little chip. Oh, wait. How do I know what CPU I have? Um, okay. Well, I have a bigger PC, so I don't know where that is. Like, the thing under your AIO cooler. Oh. Is it okay, go to settings, system, scroll down to about. Okay, I'm doing the about. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, okay, so my process. Wait, is the CPU my processor? Is that it? Is that the same thing? Oh yeah, I have AMD Radeon RX 7600. That's my graphics card. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, so Raven, do the same thing that Pluto just said. So you're gonna go to your system and you're gonna go to about. And then you're gonna see what the graphics card is called. Yeah, because I have the okay, wait, hold on. Under processor. So yeah, so my processor is AMD Ryzen 7 5700. But the graphics card is AMD Radeon RX 7600. But that's just for mine. But I don't know what Raven has, though. That's what I'm trying to figure out for Raven. Okay, Raven just sent me a photo. Check Discord. Okay. Okay. So Raven, okay, it says here Raven. Okay, Raven has an AM. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. I'm looking at the pictures. Yes. So Raven has an AMD Ryzen 3 3150 with Radeon Vega Mobile GFX. What does that mean? Okay, what does that mean, Pluto? Sorry, I want to like help Raven with his PC stuff. But also, I'm gonna do probably like another hour. Wait, what's the GPU again? Okay, hold on. Let me reread it. Okay. So it says the processor says AMD Ryzen 3 3150 U with Radeon Vega Mobile GFX. Also, ads do start in 3 minutes, guys, so I apologize. I apologize. I just want to make sure that Raven is... Just so that way I have, just so that way I have, like, shit for Raven. Like, to give him, like, the right thing. Because, like, I want him to be able to order his RAM before he starts streaming. Because, like... Also... I'm gonna, okay, hold on. Oh, that's just the integrated that comes with the CPU. Okay, but it's not... Oh. Is everyone leaving? Does he... Okay. Well, okay, so does he already have a GPU or is getting one? Okay, but that's the thing. Okay, so... Wait, is that the CPU that I just said? Because, like, I don't know what GPU to get for that. If that's the case. Also, an ad break's about to start, guys, so... Okay, well, I'll just go back to my top. Okay, so what... Okay, so I guess that's another thing. Okay, so I guess that is just the... But you shouldn't use it since you usually get a GPU with your PC build, if that makes sense. Okay, so my other question is that what GPU should Raven get for that? Because it's like a mini PC. Because what I just said was an AMD Ryzen 3. So, like, I don't know what... It's another spring trap. Oh my god, ads. I'm so sorry. Ooh! $150. I don't know if you can still hear me, Pluto. Oh wait, you're subbed, so you can hear me. Oh wait. Is he leaving her slug? Okay, yeah. Yes. Come here, Thalita. Come here, bestie. Come here. I got you. Oh, bestie. Depending on the type of budget you're on, you could go for AMD Radeon RX 6600 or NVIDIA GTX 60. Okay. But yeah, this is for Raven. So Raven, are you taking notes? And more expensive? Okay, so wait. So NVIDIA is more expensive, but AMD is a little bit cheaper, right? Is that what you're saying, my Pluto? No. Oh. Oh. Nope. Oh. Well, okay, Raven. Make sure you grab... Okay, so basically what Pluto is saying, you need to grab an AMD Radeon 6600. For the... You said, is that the graphics card, Pluto? You screenshotted chat? Okay. Okay, good run, Lara. Good run. Oh, okay, period. Delita, okay, mama. Okay, diva, baddie, icon boots. Okay, but why was Lara not wiggling? Because, girl, why were you not wiggling? Okay, so guys, remind me to, like, look at my tone challenge because... Oh my god! Hello? That was insane. Okay. That's crazy. LOL. Oh my god. Y'all, he had no ed. He could have brought that back. He could have literally brought that back. Okay. He literally could have brought that back and could have slept. But, okay.
Hi, how are you?
After we ate that, we sure did. Also, is it Mickey? Also, thank you for matching with me. Of course, yeah. Girl. So this is my, like, normal skin. Like, my normal cosmetic for... This is my normal cosmetic for, Feng Min. But, like, if you don't catch me in this top, I normally have the, I usually have one of these shirts on. So, like, I either have, like, the Iron Maiden shirt, the Hellfire Club, or the Freddy Fazbear t-shirt on. But AOT is my main cosmetic. Also look at this. Also look at this. This is my happy emo, and it has my Feng Min in her AOT, like her AOT top with the skirt that I'm wearing, and the headpiece. So that's my and it's with Naughty Bear, so it's like my little happy emo with Naughty Bear, because Naughty Bear is my other P100. So I'm like, so like Naughty Bear is like my baby. Uh it's so cute. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's like my go-to emo, because like it has two of my mains in there. Um and I love Trapper so much. Oh my god, that's a cute emote. Wait, you're a streamer too? Oh my god. I need to follow you. You're a streamer too. Oh my god. Wait. Miki, are you down? Are you down to duo, girl? Are you down to duo? Cuz girl, when I yes, let's okay, I'll add you as a friend. Hold on. Okay, oh my god. Okay, let me just oh my god, you okay, let me just oh my god. Y'all, I made a new friend, a new bestie. Okay. Y'all, look at me. You're my 360. OMG, it's meant to be. You're so special. Oh, thank you. Oh my god. Okay. Miki, I normally don't ask this from people, but okay. Would you be down to be like my forever duo? I would be so down to be your forever duo if you want to be mine. But, you know, I guess it's just meant to be. But also, I don't know. Okay. I know we just met, but like, also, do you want to voice chat? Because I do have a Discord. Uh, I do have a Discord. It is applied to join, and you have to just claim your roles and stuff. Oh, oh, girl, the way that we just like. Okay, I normally like don't even ask people, but I'm like, I just was like, okay, so girl, oh my god, like, okay, so yeah, we can definitely like, is your is your Discord name the same? Wait, is your Discord name the same? Because like I can. Oh, oh no, that's okay. Let me, girl. Let me just let me. Okay, I'm already a part of a million Discords, but let me. You're gonna join my Discord? Okay. My Discord is apply to join, so you just can answer like a couple of questions, and then all you would need to do is just abide by the rules and claim all the roles and stuff to see all the channels. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Guys, I just found my forever duo, and we were twinning. This is insane. Oh my god. Oh my god. Y'all, I found my soul sister. I found my okay, I approved, and then it's gonna ask you to go it's gonna ask you to oh, I need to like update that. Hold on. Uh wait, Carl.gg. So all you need to do is just abide by the rules, and then on the bottom of the cinnamon rolls channel, you just need to do the member verification, and then you should have custom. Oh, you know, greetings, guys. I can't believe I found my. Okay, hold on. Do you like Sanrio? I do. I love Sanrio. Okay. Give me 1 second. Oh my god, Coco! Welcome in, Raiders. Hi, guys. That's my whole theme. Oh my god. Okay, DM me your server. Also, I just pinged you in the waiting area, VC. I just pinged you, so just go there, and I'll drag you into my voice chat. Hello? Oh my god. Hi, Mickey. Yeah, it's nice to meet you. I'm so glad that we found each other. Oh my god. I did just get rated, so let me just greet them real quick and I'll get back to you. Hold on. Okay. Coco, I'm loving this chapter too, but I'm kind of sad because I didn't get the new I only got the new killer like 2 or 3 times and that was it. But how is your stream? How is your stream? How's everything? Also, if you guys have to raid and run, please, like, feel free to do so. Also, how's baby Luca? Also, hold on. You never love you, my cutest. Also, guys, I found my forever duo. This Salita right here. Their name is Mickey, and we actually made a Springtrap DC last game, and yeah, so they're gonna be my forever duo. I'm gonna edit a quick killer game, and Luca is doing amazing. He's so smart and talking a lot. Ooh, send me some pictures. Auntie Lola wants to see her baby. But yeah, feel free to lurk and stuff, Coco. I understand that doing stream things takes a lot of energy, but I do appreciate you for being here and bringing your community over. For those who don't know who I am, I'm Lola. I'm a variety streamer. I mainly play Dead by Daylight, but I do play other games like Phasmo and Resident Evil and a bunch of other games. But you know, that's just a little bit about me. But if you guys are enjoying the vibes here, feel free to drop a follow. It's free, but no pressure. I do appreciate you guys for being here regardless. We're also duoing with a new friend. But yeah, we just made a new friend, who goes by Fuck Mickey. But yes. Also, sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm back. I had to greet some peeps. Oh wait, also y'all can't hear my duo, but I will make sure that she's heard. A pig? I had a pig earlier. Oh my god. Oh. Girl, okay, stop smacking my ass, girl. Judgment was my first game too. I am not locked in this game. I'm like trying to like fix the Discord and like, okay, I have my healing build, so I can go over there and heal you. Ooh, they're trans. Okay, love that. She's off me now? Okay, I'm gonna have to fix the Discord after this match, because I don't know what's going on. Oh my god. Okay, if you could take her away, I could pick up the slug. Shit. She might have Amanda's letter. No, she picks. She picks immediately. Is that Phantom Fear or Face the Darkness? I can't tell. She's in Maine. Oh, you got Face the Dark. She's got a whole screaming build, by the way, so that's gonna be a problem. Oh, mama. She's with me. I'm headed to Shack. Yeah, she's with me. She's left me, actually. Oh, well. I just screamed, so she might come back. If you come to me, I'm on the mound. You should be able to see me. I have empathic. Yeah, that's fine. No, because I'm having some Discord issues, Raven, so... No, we gotta go, bestie. I've been injured this whole game, actually. That's gonna be a problem. But yeah, I'm trying to fix the problem. Oh, I have solidarity. She's here at main. Yeah, it's nightlight. Yeah. Okay, she's off me. Oh, she's on Aurora. Fuck. That's bad. Oh, I want to heal this Jane, but she's like taking her hat off, so I don't know. I kind of want to. Okay. No, she leaves. She leaves. Yeah. That's over to Discord. Yeah. Discord can fuck itself. So I want y'all to be able to hear the new bestie too. Okay. Oh! How dare you, Amanda? Okay, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna leave this area. She's very, very rude. Oh, that's messed up. Wait, it says take a chance to unhug. Did someone... Oh, Jane brought salty lips. Oh, this Jane's about to die. Damn. I tried. She was... That was a pretty good game. Jeez. Let's see. Let me go to your Twitch and then I can join your Discord. Yeah, actually. Okay. Let me go to your Discord. Thank you. Okay, and then where should I go for... should I just go to the DVD? Okay. I'll go over there right now. Okay, let me also fix Discord because Discord is a whole ass mess. Yeah, that's fine.
I'm gonna call you Miles, if that's okay with you.
Alright. That's cool.
Okay. Can y'all... Okay, in my chat, can y'all hear Mickey and Miles? Wait, is it Niles or Miles?
It's Miles.
Okay. I'll remember that because it's easy, like Miles Morales. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I thought of. Okay. We can ready. I don't know when Froggy's gonna join.
Okay.
Can y'all hear that?
No.
No.
What happened?
Nothing serious.
What were you supposed to hear?
I got the washer going in the background right now.
Oh. Oh.
No, yeah, I didn't hear your washer.
We can't hear your background, so you're good. Someone in my chat says, hi, new besties.
Yo, should we leave? Someone just joined.
It's oh, Froggy. Okay, yeah, I guess we can. We can
Okay.
leave if that's okay with y'all.
Yeah.
Poor Nia.
This poor Nia's probably
Welcome in,
like, why did they all
Froggy.
leave?
Literally.
Morning.
Hi, Froggy. Where art thou? Where are you?
Stomach is killing.
Do you have food poisoning? Hmm?
I don't think I do.
I would kind of hope not.
What? Wait, Froggy, you sound like really low for me, and I have you like at 100%.
Yeah. You are a little low,
That's
Froggy.
my bad. Did I move? I moved my mic. Is this better?
A little better,
better.
but like not much better.
This is all I got.
It's okay, Froggy. We'll work with it. It's okay.
It's okay. Actually, let me just put you at like the max 200. Hopefully that'll kind of work, but I don't know how much it'll do, but you're good.
Are you on DVD, Froggy?
Yeah, I need to get a new headset. I think that's my
too, buddy,
biggest
me too.
issue. I mean, other than my Xbox exploding.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's
I don't see it
not.
on.
It's loading.
Okay.
It's just consoles.
Console things, I get it. I actually started on the Switch, so playing on
No way.
Yeah.
You were DVD Switch?
Yep.
That's pretty impressive, honestly.
I have 1,850 hours, and then I got a gaming laptop, and then that was kind of rough for me. But now I have a PC, so it's better. It's better for me.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I don't think I'd be able to. No, yeah, that's pretty impressive. I don't think I'd be able to play on what's it called? On Switch.
Switch?
Yeah, that sounds difficult.
Oh, no, yeah, it was rough. Like, I would miss, like, skill checks. Like, my friends used to, like, laugh at me, and they'd have to bring corrective action because I would always miss skill checks. And it wasn't even intentional, but I was like... And then what's funny is that, like, one of my friends, like, who used to bring corrective action for me, their PC ended up, like, breaking down, and they have to like wait for it to get repaired and stuff, and like they're on like an Xbox 360, I think, and they're like, oh my god, like I was like, oh wow, like you're loading in really slow for us, girl. And they're like, don't make fun of me. And I was like, girl, if anyone in our friend group that has the right to like joke and poke fun at you is me, because I started off as a Switch. And she's like, they're like, yeah, you know what, that's true, so I'll give you a pass. So I was like, but yeah, being on an Xbox is rough too. Like, how old is your Xbox? Is it like an Xbox 360, like the older Xbox, or what?
It's... I don't know.
If it's not like a
Yeah.
Series S or X, then it's probably like a 360 or something.
I have the Series S.
Oh.
but I brought it pre-used.
Oh, then that might be the issue, bestie. You bought it pre-used.
I didn't have the money for a new one.
That's okay. Like,
I need a job. If anyone's
Welcome
hiring
in,
out there, I'm
Haley.
really good with tools.
No, real. Hire Froggy. Froggy.
Please.
Let's go, Froggy. 10 cent buns.
oh my
Congrats
God,
on your new
Raven,
weapon.
congrats. It's congrats on your new PC, bestie. I am so proud of you. Okay, guys, let's lock in. We got this.
Let's see, who is
It's the
it?
judgment.
Okay, nice.
You know what's weird is that, like, we saw a lot of Jasons.
Oh, okay.
That could be lethal.
I'm gonna leave this one for last.
Yeah. I haven't seen, like, a lot of judgments today, like I thought I would.
I've been playing her. She's a lot of fun. I got stuck on a tree.
I'll try to take hits. Hold on.
I'm judging you,
Dodge and weave,
Miles.
dodge and weave!
Oh my god, that's
Come back!
fast.
Come back, Miles! I'm kidding. I'm
That was my
kidding.
bad.
I kid.
Yeah, I'm
I
on ping
kid.
right now.
Where are you from, Miles? Are you on the East Coast or?
I'm in Washington right now.
Okay, so your ping shouldn't be too bad.
Oh yeah,
You're on the West
we're
Coast,
all on like
so-
60, 80 ping. So that's
Oh, there he goes.
Oh, let me go get the thing and then I can
A little bit flies.
She's
Okay.
going back to courtyard, or not courtyard, but park area.
Okay, she's
Alright,
at
here,
Shack
hold on.
actually. Let me go
I'm
get
gonna
the
try and get Froggy out.
Yeah, I can get
Okay,
Froggy
I'm right
out.
here.
Yeah.
I got it.
Oh.
He's on me.
Oh, great heavens.
Let me heal you, Froggy. I got
Quite literally.
I got a healing build, so just come to me. I have
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I have
Go
a
ahead
heal-
and go to Lola.
Yeah.
I also
Yo, where are
have
the
a healing
pallets at, bro? We dropped all the wood. Mango back. Man.
Damn it. She saw me.
Okay, I'm gonna try to go for the pickup.
I'm on a pallet.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
no,
was trying to get the pallet save, but she saw me. Saw
You
that
did
coming. She's on me. Perfect.
You have weak left, so you're good.
I'm like right next to you, Lola.
Okay. Oh, hi.
Right here.
I was like, wait. I was like, I hear you, but I don't see you.
Yo, why is he staying on me?
You don't have any hooks, so you're good.
You're gonna go to exile.
Okay.
How do you
Let
do
me
this?
get you out right now. So just shine your thingy thing, like the light that you have, at the faces. Kind of
Okay.
like aiming a flashlight. Oh fuck, she's right here. I need someone to get him out
Yeah,
of
yeah.
exile.
I'm
'cause she's on me.
gonna get Miles out of exile.
Hey, what happens if I get hit by one of the things?
You need to not
it'll
get.
kill
You need to.
faster.
Yeah. Don't get hit by the beam of lights.
It's
Just
the
get
equivalent of missing a skill check on Hook.
Yeah. Oh my god, okay, I'm going in there with you. That's wonderful. Oh, you're out. Just kidding. Right. Oh, okay. That's great.
Okay, I'm gonna
Nice.
Yeah, if you wanna
Beautiful.
come to me for heals, I can heal you.
Bro. Don't say she's on me again.
Because I know how much you love using flashlights.
She's on me.
I'm on main
Oh
gen.
god. Oh my god.
Going to one of the sides.
She was. Bam Bam. Damn. She got me.
She's gonna hook.
I think she has eyeball ears, so she's got whenever you vault, and then she's got Bam Bam too. She's headed to she might have barbecue. No, I don't think so.
Honestly,
No, I would have
No.
got smacked in the dome by now.
okay, I'm gonna go for the unhook.
You feel so
She's
weird on
going to
PC,
do
Raven?
it
Oh my god.
miles.
He comes back.
Never mind, she's going back to hook. She might go to
Sorry,
jump.
I didn't mean to body block you. I don't want to get chased again. I want to get tunneled because I made the mistake of body blocking.
Here, let me see if I can get a Sabo.
I'm like, girl,
I got the
I
flash
don't.
right there.
I'm like, I'm not trying to get tunneled. He has Bam Bam. I forgot.
Oh shit, okay.
No way I got exposed. There's no way.
Oh, that's not great.
She has that Eerie add-on that like redirects
Nah,
it.
you got that, you got that, you got that.
No, I don't. Oh, God. No. I use dramaturgy.
Oh fuck, shit, 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 shit,
Couch
shit.
tech, couch tech.
Damn.
Damn it.
It's fine. It's fine.
Solidarity.
She gets it?
Yeah.
Yeah, she gets it.
I also have
I will
solidarity.
make it. Top main gen is like 40%.
Okay, I'm gonna try to go for save. If one of you guys can distract.
I'm good. Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing.
Oops.
Before we finish
Go
main,
back
we
to
need to
home.
do the gen.
Yeah, I'm about to go down.
The gen next to the park that has blast mine on it, I think. Can I get Sabo?
No, I don't
No,
think
she's
you'll
not
make it.
coming this way. Okay, she's on
Oh
you, Lil.
fuck! Yeah, I'm gonna get worried here. I hear. Oh,
I go get flash, I say.
Okay. I'll try and get a Sabo.
She insta pick.
Did you? Oh,
she didn't like the music. She didn't like it. Oh, I'm getting worried.
Run, 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 run.
Oh my god!
Run.
Oh, wait, what?
Yeah, no,
I got
that's
worried.
a Mori.
Oh
a
my
Mori.
god, that's crazy.
Do not get hit by that. Let me see if I can take a hit for you. Froggy, I think this is gonna be a hatch match. Good luck.
What?
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Got you, I got you, I got you!
Yo, chat. This is so
That was my bad. That was
Yo,
my
flash, I
bad.
saved the Mori.
Yo, that's not cash mo- Oh, ew, that's gross.
R.I.P.
Bro, I
Oh,
want to
yo,
face like a
that is
Bubba, bro. Come on.
She
Oh, what the
vaults,
fuck?
yeah.
She vaults?
Yeah, she's got Bam Bam.
Froggy, good luck.
Don't leave me alone.
You got this. You can do it. You'll be
No,
fine.
I'm taking an item with me.
Dead. Free time.
Back, back.
That was my bad. Sorry, Miles.
Oh, that's good. Slug. Yo.
No, she Miki's getting worried.
Ah.
She just blipped me.
Try checking shock too. Oh. Yeah, try checking Shack.
In the shack, Froggy.
Or Shack or
run.
main. Shack or main.
Oh,
I'd say run.
Hide in bush. Hide in bush.
Oh, she saw you.
Uh-oh. Not shack. This Froggy.
Nice.
Dork.
Yeah, you tell him, Froggy. Oh, okay.
Damn. Okay.
Could it spawn in the parking lot?
I could,
Yeah, it could, yeah. Either there or main, too.
Parking lot, go to parking lot.
It's behind me.
No. Parking lot's on the opposite side near the movie theater. Dang. NT. Oh, not the nopers.
Oh, what the fuck? Why'd she put you in there? Wow.
World.
You're in exile until you completely die. Oh, never mind. That's a Mori. JK. Kind of lame though.
She had Deerstalker, Lethal, Dark Arrogance. Who runs that?
Dude. Not on the new killer, but I have it.
They said, to be honest, I did like this song.
Oh no, I left.
But if too many people escape with it, it'll get nerfed. That's so funny. Actually, I'm gonna dump points into Aurora real quick.
Oh, I need to also dump points into her. I almost forgot.
Damn. How many? I am at 50. Hell? No! You didn't let me finish. Is that the basic outfit?
Yeah, that's the basic
Oh,
outfit.
it is.
Yeah. Fake Fung. Excuse me, Admiral? That's rude. If anything, you're the fake one. You're the fake P100 Fungman here. Okay?
We got this team.
Love you too. Yeah, yeah.
Let's see. What
Admiral.
am I on the rift? Damn, I'm not even here yet. I just want the Fang skin. That's the last page. Nice.
In the battle pass?
Yeah. I'm not even on
Not
page
done
8 yet. Mm-mm.
Also, Raven,
I
are you
touch the
still
game
here?
like maybe 3 times a week and that's about it.
I'm almost done with the Rift Pass. Like, I think I hit tier 88.
That's crazy. The DBD grind for Froggy.
Because Raven, if you're still here, I can help you with your PC and stuff.
Ow.
Yeah, I just had rice with a little bit of the thingy, but I'm
We
so
got
hungry.
this.
The popcorn
We
chicken.
can do this.
Yeah, okay, fine. Okay. Just make some more.
Riley, you're fine.
You haven't played much in summer? That's valid, Admiral.
Is that your toy? Yeah, that's your toy.
Alright, guys, we got this. We got this.
Thank you, Riley, for your toy. But I can't play with it right now. Oh, Maurice isn't here.
It's another judgment. She's at me. She
I
didn't see me.
guess.
She's over there.
Oh. Yeah. Dance, Froggy, dance. Dance, Froggy, dance. Yeah. Nice.
Yes.
Alright, I'm gonna go to main, even though
Okay.
this might kill me.
Oh,
Oh,
misclick.
I'm going Jack's side.
Probably a really good idea.
There's
I'm
a
gonna
gen
run
in
into the
Shack.
face of
Bro, I need to
death.
get on controller.
Are you on keyboard and mouse?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hard. It's really, really hard. I play on controller. I can't play on keyboard and mouse. Oh, that's fantastic. I just popped
yeah.
my gem.
I only
Playing 4-lane.
play Survivor on controller, but Killer, I'll play mouse and keyboard.
No light one.
Yeah, no,
Thank
I
you for the
can't do
follow,
it. It's so
Froggy.
hard.
Yeah.
W Froggy, W Froggy.
I got stuck on a tree, bro. What's happening?
Oh. You got stabbed. We're
Yeah,
shot.
look about. I'm going down.
Oh, I'm not close to you.
Come on, 5-gen chase. Come on.
5-gen chase.
Thank you for the lurk, Raven. No Bam Bam. Or not Bam Bam, barbecue is what I meant. Okay, she didn't see me.
She
Appreciate
might
it.
come here, so please be careful.
If you come to me,
Here, she keeps
Miles.
She's
on-
coming! Run!
Come to me, Miles, and then I can. Okay, well, I'm by the
Yeah,
garden
I'm over
area.
here by Lola.
Froggy got me.
So I think she's going to you. Oh
Where?
shit! No, she's
Wait,
on
what
me.
hex does he have?
I'm not sure. I know it's not ruined. That's for a fact.
Is it blood favor where pallets blocked?
No, it's not blood favor.
I'm going to basement.
I'm
Devour?
just gonna start cleansing
I was
totems.
thinking devour, but I think it's way too early for it to pop up now.
Oh, you know what? You know what I
it
think it
is.
is? I think it's the it's the new totem perk. It's the
Oh
judgment
yeah, of
perk
course it's gotta be
probably.
hers. Yeah,
Is that basement?
Yeah, I'm in
it
basement.
is.
I got you. I have dramaturgy. How do I get down there?
Inside there's
You're
gonna
like,
be
yeah,
like a little hole in the
turn.
wall.
Right there.
Yeah.
She's still in main. She's still kind of camping main.
Okay.
So just be
if
aware.
She comes, let me take hit. The time that I'm not running DS, wow. You are caca wee whiz.
Sorry.
You know what? Okay, I think they're adapting. So
I'm gonna go
because
find that.
the obsession just switched to me, so they're adapting.
That's crazy though.
To get that adept, I'd say tunneling is the best option.
I can't.
Okay, I wish I
can't tunnel as a killer.
I'll go save.
She's still proxy camping me, but she's on
I'm gonna try to
Lola.
take her away. No, she's still
Won't
camping.
protect.
I'd say just focus on gems for right now, and then one of us go. I'm gonna go in for the
Miles
save.
got me.
Check as much as you can.
Oh
she
my
just
God.
tunneling. This is crazy.
You're
Down
fucking
a pallet.
garbage. Like that's actually insane.
I can't drop the pallet? Excuse me? No. Wait, I can't drop it.
That's actually crazy. I'm sorry, girl. I wish I would have had reglyph, but I
That's
don't.
insane. Oh, they're getting a piece of my mind, that's for sure.
Bro, I'm trying to CJ tech.
It's all good.
No worries, Raven.
IPS. I don't know if it activated already.
I want to try to unhook you.
Your DS will activate when someone takes you off, and if she tunnels you, you'll be able to use it. But knowing her gameplay, you'll be able to use it.
Oh yeah, I can use it. Yeah, tunnel me, so. Wait.
I haven't.
Oh,
been
she
running
might
DS
more
with a
you,
lot of,
actually.
like...
Wait. Oh my god. Yo.
Okay, she'll pick you
No,
up.
please
Actually,
pick
she
me up.
might more
Please
you.
pick me up.
No,
Please.
she might more you.
Please.
Yeah,
Oh my
there's the
god.
Mori. Froggy's in main, Lola.
Okay.
He's on the gen up there.
Is anyone gonna not play the Judgment?
I'm not gonna play her tonight. I don't really play killer. I'm not great at it. She's coming.
Oh, she's coming. She's coming.
She's right there.
Sorry.
Nice job, Froggy.
Okay, I'm gonna try to get a gen done. If you can keep her busy.
Boy, 1 gen chase.
You got this, Froggy.
1 minute and 30 seconds.
Oh my god, no way.
What in the freaking world? Okay, Froggy.
Yeah, I don't know what
Froggy,
that was.
I'm
Froggy,
gonna
hatch game.
unhook myself, and never mind.
Oh, Froggy, don't get it. She's gonna know where you are. She's on Froggy. Yeah, she's on Froggy.
FOV.
That sucks that we can't get out of here until someone gets us, which is insane.
Yeah. I wish they would, like, change something about it.
I'd say,
It's
like,
so
do, like, a
ridiculous.
certain amount of beams just to, like, make you get out.
I agree.
Oh, this is perfect.
Nice. Good job, Froggy. Yeah, she's still on you. Oh,
I pulled the pallet. No.
Shit. Okay, I don't know if you want to take your chances, Froggy, but I could try to get Hatch if you want.
I got
yeah, I was
this.
gonna say
4%.
trying Kobe. Kobe. Aw, damn it.
Damn. Shit, I don't have any, I don't have a med kit either.
I did.
Yeah, Froggy has one, but it's like 30%. Damn, dude.
Bro.
What the hell?
Okay, I'm gonna just abandon.
Alright, chat, let's see what they say in endgame. I
Ugh.
gave them a piece of my mind.
I forgot to say GG's, but it's okay. No worries, Raven.
Yeah, no, they're 100% adept. That's crazy, though.
I got like 1 or 2 games left in me, and then I'm gonna log off.
What happened?
I said I got like 1 or 2 more games left in me, and then I'll log off.
Sounds good.
So I've been on since like 7. So I'm gonna log off after like 1 or 2 after this or the next game.
Okay.
Okay, I also don't like the. I thought I would like the big red button, but I'm starting to not
I
like it
hate it.
anymore. But
Yeah.
I do like how they give you like a timer instead of like just give you like a random like number, like being like, oh, like estimated queue is like 5 minutes, and then it's not entirely 5 minutes. So I kind of do like the timer for
Mhm.
for it. Also, okay, I'm not gonna bring my healing build this game, so ooh, thank you for redeeming your daily latte, Froggy. You got a hibiscus latte.
Yes. I don't even know what hibiscus is.
It's
It's
a
like,
flower.
yeah, it's a flower.
Ah.
Yeah, yeah.
Is there a caramel one in there?
A
It's
caramel one.
random. So like each time you redeem your daily, it's like it'll give you like a random flavor
Let's
latte.
go.
We got my favorite map. Oh my god.
Let's go, Midwich.
Oh no.
This is my map. This is my boy. I know this guy.
I love this map. This is my favorite. I never ever
Oh,
played this.
okay.
I've never played the Silent Hill
Already
games.
shooting at me.
Spearman had made this map is great.
No, it's the Judgment. I thought it was Oni for a second.
Yeah, no, it's the judgment.
No,
I
cuz
wish.
on me already. I'm a person. Come on, huh? Please. I
Are
want
y'all
that
downstairs or upstairs?
They're
upstairs.
upstairs.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I nearly just got slapped.
He just left me.
I'm gonna go in like main outside.
Oh my god, you
Okay.
scared me.
Go outside.
Don't touch me.
Oh, I think they've got an obsession build because they have Nemesis.
Wait, why is the generator damaged?
It's oppression.
Yeah. Oh
Oppression
my
Are you
doing
freaking
it.
kidding me, bro? What the heck?
Oh,
They're
Okay.
both gonna go to they're
Wait,
both
I
gonna go to
forgot I
exile.
blocked this.
Fuck, that's upstairs.
I can get that. Don't worry about it. You
Okay.
find it.
Okay.
Yo, this jam. We were doing this jam so much fun. He's checking.
Yep. Oh wait, I got it. Actually, hold on. I got it.
Oh god.
Thank you.
I don't get my Dead Hard or DS this game. They're above us.
Bro. Oh my gosh, let me out.
Yeah, they jump. Yeah, they're on me. I'll take the down. Nope, they're on y'all.
Oh my
I tried
god.
to take hit.
We gotta run.
Coming this way.
Shit.
Nah, bro. Okay,
I
that's a
don't have
hook.
yes either, bro.
I think they're gonna take. Oh nope, they
He's
are
exiling me
going to
again.
exile. That's crazy. I genuinely thought you were gonna get a hook. I was gonna try and sabo right now.
Not that many DS. So useless.
They're gonna get blast minded right now. Oh, just kidding. Yep, nope, they did.
I see him right now. It's in
We
like
gotta
middle.
go. We gotta go.
Yeah,
Come
that's
here.
the gen I was trying to do.
They're like,
Okay,
pick
let
the
me
moonwalk.
heal
The moonwalk.
Oh.
I was trying to moonwalk, bro. Oh.
Yeah, people are pretty sweaty tonight with the new killer, but that's to be expected. Let me see if I can pick you up.
I'd rather play against Knight.
Oh.
Wait, teammates got him. Oh my gosh, he just passed me. Yo. No. Oh my gosh, on the bed. Hold up. Let me loot. Broke pallets? GG's.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah. Dang, this gen regressed so much.
Yo, do these people not have to go to work?
I'm dead. Yeah, people are pretty crazy.
Ah, I feel you, Jen Bozo. How's that for you?
Da-da-da.
Yo, I'm looking up and on PlayStation, I'm not gonna lie.
Honestly, that's valid. I mean, you're doing really well for someone who doesn't play primarily on mouse and keys.
I appreciate it. Alright,
Of course. I have a feeling they're going to my gen over there.
I'm gonna edge you
Well,
on my
maybe
main.
so.
Yeah, I get stunned. Doofus.
Okay. Where
get
are
off
you,
of me.
Froggy?
Oh, I'm downstairs somewhere.
Oh, okay. I was freaking out.
Hide.
Oh no. Okay. Oh fuck. Ah, you tried to get me. Hee hee ha ha. I got you, Froggy.
Yo, I'm lucky Orc 1 on console.
Like Eerie?
Not Orc 1. Like,
Lola, over here, over here, over here.
it's higher
No,
than
no,
yours.
that's okay. She's gonna
Oh.
throw the beam. Hold on. I'm oblivious. She's got Nemesis.
Wait, Lola, you're getting off?
Like after next game.
Oh, I sent you friend request.
Okay.
I was gonna fall. Low-key forgot about Conviction doing that.
Repenting for my sins.
Yes! Voted.
Yo, does the new Survivor have good perks?
Yes.
I've heard that they're pretty decent.
Spend money on the new Survivor.
I have the
I
money.
think it was worth it.
I don't like the first two perks though.
I think all three are
Fuck.
beautiful. I love them all.
When you finish a gen, you get 5% haste for 2 seconds.
It stacks. As soon as last gen is done, if you have poise, you get 25
you.
haste for like 10 seconds. I can't. I
I
got
forgot I don't have Dead Hard.
I
Oh,
had a friend
nice.
without ghost.
No.
Yeah, can you dead hard the ability?
Let me try and
I would think so, but I don't know.
shit, my stuff's gonna run out right now.
She got that redirecting thingy add-on.
Yo, would y'all recommend me to buy Survivor or Killer?
I mean, it
Oh, shit,
depends
what the
on
fuck?
it depends on like what you want to
Um,
like play the most, but like I'd say play 50-50. So it honestly also just depends on like what perks you want too. So There's also
Chat,
that.
I need to put fucking DS back on low key.
Bro, it's not worth it, bro. It's not.
I bought the Survivor. I thought she looked cool. It's a cool chapter.
Alright, besides the new Survivor, who would you guys recommend?
Just like buying a Survivor?
Yeah.
Let me see, who has really good perks? A lot of different characters have good perks. I think characters that have good base perks are like Kate and, what's it called? Kate and Fang. Like, for instance, she has Life, which is pretty nice, especially if you're in chase, if you fast vault, and you're not exhausted.
She's leaving me alone.
Run pretty fast, you get a speed boost.
I like to
then
keep the
Kate-
killer on me, though.
Well, yeah, you can use it as a looping perk, and then
I just
What does
also
Kate have?
Windows.
I just want y'all
Windows
to
is
know
pretty
that
nice
she
too.
left me alone.
Okay, sounds good.
Wait, what about Adam Francis? He has a version.
She's that way.
Oh,
Deliverance is
well,
pretty
she's not gonna
cool.
attack me anymore.
Diversion is alright. I've seen a couple people use it, but I think Deliverance off of Adam is pretty nice.
I also use, I think Autodidact's pretty good if you're like a healer. If you're like the kind of survivor who likes to heal a lot, Autodidact with other healing perks. So usually for me, like, oh, sorry. Usually for me,
Oh, okay. Well, that's not great.
Mantis, look
Oh,
out!
I know how I'm gonna get.
It depends on what you want to do. If you want to loop a killer,
she moried.
I can always ask the Discord to write down their favorite builds for looping and who they belong to.
Alright.
Alright, Froggy, I'm going to exile.
Alright. It's either gonna be Ada or Sable, because they're the baddest survivors. So.
Well, I'd rather Ada over Sable. But that's just my opinion.
Jill has a blast mine, which is pretty cool. But yeah, wiretap for looping
Hello.
is pretty nice. Oh, who are you? Oh, there you are. Oh, just kidding. We're both dead.
Hi.
Wait, no, guys, I want the one where you put the chemical trap. That's what I want.
Oh, that's
Chemtrack is Ellen Ripley.
Yeah.
I don't play Survivor.
Who's Ellen Lamine? Who's that?
Ellen Ripley is from like the Xenomorph chapter.
I see her.
She's the survivor.
Is chemical trap the only good perk she has?
No, all three of her perks are pretty good. They synergize well with like other perks. So like if you're going for like a meme build, I'd say like Chemtrap for sure. But like if you're gonna go with like Lucky Star, like I'd say like do like hold on, like I'd say like do Quick and Quiet, Lucky Star, Head On, and Inner Strength. Those are like that's a pretty good solid build right there, especially if you're trying to get away from the killer.
Wait,
what kind of build do you want?
Yeah,
I just want to loop. I want to loop without light. All right.
Okay, let me ask the Discord.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of people like to write down
Finesse.
their finesse is
Finesse
fire.
is
That's
always
from
good.
Laura.
I was thinking about finesse, but finesse has a bug right now, so
I haven't had it bugged, and I've been playing it tonight. It's been working
you can't
for
get
me.
fast vault prompts that you could get. It's like very random, but that you could get without it.
I think I'm gonna take off finesse and put DS. Actually, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. What the hell? I don't know why that didn't pop up. Go ahead and try again. It like disappeared.
All right. Bro, DS is so useless against the judgment.
All right, this is my LG, so let's make it count.
Request can't be sent. What? Did you get it?
Let me see. Yeah, it says failed to accept the request.
That's good. Oh, don't send me to reset my game, bro.
Okay.
Alright. It's a game my PlayStation's pretty fast. Let me. Y'all listen to Drake?
I listen to old Drake, not new.
I don't really like listen to Drake like that anymore. I only like listen to like some of his like old stuff, like well, okay. I'm gonna be honest. I haven't really listened to Drake since like his Young Money days. Like he's like
Yeah,
like
literally.
like his
Same.
like a lot of his current songs like some of them are like pretty catchy, but like I don't really listen to him that much because like especially after like what happened with like his beef with Kendrick, I was like
Oh
I don't
god.
really
Real.
I'm like I don't really listen
Real.
to Drake like that anymore. I'm like okay, like you got some catchy songs, but I'm like but
Wait,
I'm
what did
like
he do wrong?
I don't know him and Kendrick had like this like small beef or whatever, and then like
And Drake
Kendrick
cooked him.
Oh, I don't think so. I think Kendrick cooked him,
nah
in my opinion.
Kendrick cooked his
Kendrick cooked him
ass
for
like
sure.
Wait, so are y'all a K-bot or are you guys Drake or
I'm not a
K-bot?
K-bot, but I think that Kendrick cooked Drake for
Okay,
sure.
Drake. Okay,
Z's.
Kendrick won that, but Kendrick hasn't released in like a minute.
okay,
Yeah,
but
but
He
I
went
think that
silent.
Kendrick is still like
I feel like
if we were to call someone more so a legend, it would be Kendrick over Drake for sure.
yeah,
Like
What?
don't get me wrong, like Drake had good stuff in the past, but it doesn't matter whether someone has released something in a while or not. I
yeah.
just think
Also,
Kendrick
like
is overall
I also
like
feel like a lot
better.
of people listen to Kendrick more than they do Drake because like I feel like a lot of the songs that I see from Drake now is like yeah he's got some cool hits here and there, but I'm like some of his songs don't make sense, and also
What?
another thing is that like a lot of the songs he does is like kind of love songs and stuff and like whatever, but it's just I don't know. That's just my opinion, but that's just me.
All right, hold up.
Yeah, and everyone's entitled to their own opinion.
Yeah. And we're not here
Hey,
to like
Froggy.
we're not here to like bash you about like who you like and who you don't like. We're just here to let you know like hey, like this is just our
Yeah.
observation.
Froggy, how do you feel about this?
He listens to like old school rock. I don't know if he listens to any of that stuff.
All right,
I
all
listen
right.
to Lady Gaga and Metallica.
Yeah, let's go, Froggy.
Rihanna. I love
Real
All right.
shit,
Rihanna.
real
Those are
shit.
my two different genres I like the most.
I love Lady
Okay,
Gaga. I don't
y'all
li-
say Kendrick is better, but can y'all name one good line?
I'm not gonna name a line. I don't listen to him like that. My go-to, to be honest, is K-pop and Suicide Boys and Ramirez. So I'm not that dedicated as a fan to neither one of them.
yeah,
All right.
me either.
Yeah, like don't get me wrong. Like if I
Oh,
have a song on the playlist that I like or in my liked songs, like I'll listen to it, I'll bump it. But I don't actively listen to those two on the daily. I usually
that's
listen
great.
to,
All right.
That
my own music.
Yeah.
Like not my music, but like my go-tos. Like I said, like I listen to a lot of K-pop and I listen to a lot of like Suicide Boys and Ramirez.
that's
Y'all know
crazy.
who he
That's
is. But
crazy,
That's a good sign
nudie.
Nope.
because
I was gonna
I'd
say
rather
that,
someone
but
be
I didn't.
like not care about it than be a fan of Kendrick.
I mean, I'm a
All
fan of
my
Kendrick.
music
I'm
is
not
from
a
like
diehard.
2015 or
Ah,
before.
Someone in my chat said a Kendrick line was like A minor. And
oh
That's
I
God,
the
dead
that's
way
as
that I
fuck.
terrible.
laughed.
That
No,
is
It's
terrible.
funny as
that's
it's
a
funny as
line.
hell though.
That's a
That shit
li-
was funny.
that shit was funny during that song that he did with his beef and against
Wait. So y'all really like started laughing when he said that?
yeah, I laughed
Yes,
because I was like
he's funny.
I
because
low started cringing. I'm not gonna lie.
Because Kendrick no, well no,
And like I
that's a
said earlier,
line.
like everyone's entitled to their own opinion and that's totally okay.
It's another judgment.
But-
But also, like, I listen to like a variety of music, but like, I'm not really like the kind of person to just like have like like be dedicated to be like, oh yeah, like I'm a fan of this artist, or like I'm a fan of that artist. Like,
Yeah.
I would just say like, oh, I would just say like, hey, like, you know, like
Nice.
this artist has like a lot of good songs, but like you don't have to call yourself a fan if you just enjoy like specific songs and stuff. So like,
No, I think it's pretty like hilarious how petty Kendrick is. That
yeah.
motherfucker's petty. Same with 50 Cent. Those two dudes are petty as hell, and I aspire to be as petty as them one day. Especially 50.
Oh my god,
Yo, this boon is
50
tough.
Cent is like so petty.
What happened?
This boon looks tough.
It's
normally look
basically
like that?
free resilience without having to be damaged.
Oh, is this from the new? Is this from Aurora?
Yeah, this is my boon. It's up right now.
Nice.
You get 9% faster repair
Yeah.
speed.
Wait, does it always have
Yeah, no,
stars
that
like
is-
this?
Yeah, that's
no,
just the
that's just-
design.
Oh, like stars and oh, okay, I see what you're saying. I thought you meant
Like the boon?
Yeah. Come here. Come here.
Yeah, that's just the boon design.
I select these songs. Ooh, okay,
Alright, let me
Moody.
get the-
Period.
Oh, my
Oh, they
bad.
popped it.
My bad.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good.
Okay.
Flow state. Hey, y'all have a Quante Young? I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Oh yeah, Quante
Yeah,
Young.
I have.
I have Quante Young.
Uses perks.
He
I'll use his perks.
he's got some good perks, yeah.
You need to put that boon back up. That was a good one. I actually liked it.
I would
Got
love
that
to, but
gen
the
done
killer
hella
is on me.
quick. Oh, my bad, game. My
Let me know if you need a flashlight
Mm.
too.
bad. Second one.
I need
Oh,
a
oh, oh,
Capri
oh,
Sun,
oh, 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 oh,
a hug,
oh. And a cookie?
a cookie would be great too.
Oh.
Come here, good.
I think I'm okay.
Yo, I can't see.
I just need to find bones for the.
Yo, there's a totem over here. That's
Oh, that's the one I had
Is it a
before.
hex?
no, it's just a totem.
I ran out
Oh,
of
she's
DS,
down.
but
That's
she
the
knew
one
she knew that I had
had-
dead hard. She waited up my dead hard.
Wait, no, I'm not letting you have them. But it's
I don't
down in the
have.
basement.
I'll get DS on the second go,
No, no, no.
but it's like I'm getting tunneled,
Damn,
so
I
it's
don't
like.
like it.
Hold up. Hey, y'all know I'll look for it real quick.
I do have breakdown, so if one of y'all want to trade.
I will protect you with my life.
Oh, she's coming back.
Run. You want to take the DS or do you want me to take hit?
It's okay. I could take it here. Oh,
She's on me.
This guy can change.
Ooh, you made her angies.
Let me check my song real quick. I know y'all locked in there.
Oh my god, I got what I've always wanted from that chest. A broken key.
I'm dead as fuck.
Judgment.
A broken key.
No.
No. Oh, are you doing that to get your
Wait,
DS?
is that Lightborn? What?
No. I don't know actually.
I know it's not. It's not good.
Oh
she waited for my death.
No.
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 It's okay. I made her mad. It's fine. It's fine.
Oh, crouch tech, crouch tech.
No. No. I was
Crouch
about to
tech,
fucking
crouch tech,
sabo.
Crouch tech. Come on. Crouch tech. No. He just wanted
Damn.
me.
It did work for a
Damn.
second though.
It's okay.
Yo, we're all injured.
Dang.
I might be able to wiggle.
Oh. Hi, Petrie. Yeah, I don't have a veiled dead hard command. That's only when I hit it. I should make
They're
one,
gonna get
but
blast minded. Nice.
I haven't thought about it. But also, I did hit my DS though. I did hit my DS,
Blast
so
minded.
I did hit my
Wait,
DS.
wait.
But I'm gonna.
Never mind.
Oh yes, he did. Yes.
Can I go for safe?
Okay, you can come. You can come. Yeah. You're good. You're good.
All right, guys, I'm gonna log off. Hope you guys have a
Well,
good
thank you for the
night.
games,
Of
and it was so nice to
course.
meet you.
I know, I had fun. I think we're in my lobby,
Uh,
so you're gonna have to make a new lobby when I log off,
that's okay.
Mickey, yeah.
I'll take safe.
But I'll talk to y'all later.
No, she's on me, and I used my. I got rid of my DS.
Have a good night,
Oh
guys.
no.
Have a good night.
Take
Thank you so
care.
much.
Yeah, and thank you guys for playing with
Oh
me
fuck!
tonight.
No,
See y'all
no.
later. Okay, guys, we're gonna go raid our new bestie. Guys, we're gonna go raid our new bestie that we made today. If you guys are on TikTok, come over to the purple app. I would love to have you guys join us for the raid. So if you guys are on the purple app, feel free. We're gonna go raid Fuck Mickey. Mickey is amazing. We just met today and we we just met today actually. And we got to play with a couple people from her community. So yes. And guys, yeah, don't forget to claim your daily lattes and your daily attendance, your LMU attendance. So make sure you guys redeem that.
Ah, as if.
As if. Thank you for clocking in for the first time, Petrie, your daily attendance. Like I said, we're gonna go raid Fuck Mickey. We met today in the fog. Also, here are the raid messages. Oops. Here's the raid messages, guys. If you guys are not subbed, copy and paste the very first one with the girl sipping tea. If you guys are subbed, copy and paste the ones with my emotes on them. And also, guys, I do have a Discord as well. My Discord server is apply to join just because in my previous Discord, I almost got doxxed and I did get a little hate rate in there and stuff and whatever. So this Discord that I have now is my new one. So if it is apply to join, all you have to do is just apply to join, answer a couple questions, and then you got to read the rules and then claim all your roles, okay? So if you guys would like to join that, feel free. Um, and then feel free to follow me on my socials, guys. I am on social media. And we're gonna go raid Fuck Mickey. And thank you, Coco, again for the raid. I do appreciate that. Thank you so much. And for those who are still here and lurking, just so you guys know, it is my last full week of streams. Next week on Monday is going to be my last day for like a couple months, and then I will still be streaming on TikTok though, every so often, but yeah, I will catch you guys later. And Raven, message me on Discord so I can help you with your stuff. But here's the raid messages again if you guys missed it. The first raid message is for non-subscribers, and the last two are for subbies. And I will catch you guys later, okay? Bye.